What's up, everybody? Justin here. I am back with what I can only assume is my last video of the year. I'm going to do something a little different, a little year in review, some albums I liked, and I've always said that I'm not a review channel. I'm not going to sit and just tell you what I think of, you know, a new album, but I'm sure a lot of you want to know what albums I like that came out this year, so I'll get into those in a minute. First, we are listening to Flesh Crawl, Descend into the Absurd. You've heard me talk at length about this. You've heard Ben talk at length about it, so get into it. I've been on a big, old death metal kick lately. Lots of early Cannibal Corpse. The first two Hypocrisy records. Early Absu. Early Flesh Crawl, Demigod. That's been what's doing it for me lately. Especially early Cannibal Corpse. So, first, kind of year in review, I started this channel. If you go look at my stats, I actually started my YouTube channel almost 5 years ago when I started uploading, you know, live videos of bands. But I started doing this earlier this year, about 8 or 9 months ago. And I have really enjoyed it. I hope that everybody else is enjoying it. I've gotten lots and lots of excellent feedback. So I'm really stoked on that. Kind of some highlights. My last video was my retrospective, my look through my Integrity CD collection. And lots of you really seem to like it. Well, Dwid, the singer of Integrity, saw it within hours of it going up and sent me a message. He loved it. Really appreciated my enthusiasm and passion for his band. So I thought that was cool to get some feedback. So I've been talking about my CD collection. We are a little more than halfway done throughout the 45, 47 videos or whatever I've done. I've got some new things in the works. I don't think I'm going to do any more 5-minute favorites. Those never really seem to get the traffic and the interest that these longer format videos do. But I've got a couple of ideas for some shorter videos. We'll see. I'm going to keep the new stuff videos coming. I've got another pile of new things I want to talk about soon. I've got some new records and CDs in the past couple weeks. But I'm just going to keep going through CDs, going through my CD collection. And we finish that, we'll move on to LPs. And we'll see where it takes us from there. But, you know, keep sharing, keep liking, keep commenting, keep, you know, tell your friends to subscribe. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Click the bell. You can subscribe, but you won't get a notification that I've put anything up unless you click the bell. So put the bell on. So we're going to talk about albums this year. I'm not going to hold up the physical albums because I don't own physical copies of all of these. But it's funny that something I deem one of my favorite releases of the year and I haven't bought it yet. That's just how it fucking goes. So, first, I'm not doing these in any kind of order. It's hard enough for me to narrow down 10 or 15 favorite albums. I don't listen to everything the way I see a lot of people do. I'm seeing guys online do like top 100s and top 75s and top 50s. And I don't even listen to that many albums a year. I don't listen to that many new albums by a long shot. I sat down tonight to make a list, and it really, like, took me a few to come up with what I felt was enough records. You're probably going to see some omissions here that you would think that I'd be into, and I may or may not be. I may not have liked them as much as you would think I did, or I may not like it at all. So if I've left something out that you thought I would cover, let's talk about it in the comments. So, first, in no particular order, I really liked the new Abigor record. Holland Zwang. I've always been kind of a Fairweather Abigor fan. I have bought Quintessence, the Quintessence of Satan, 20 years ago, and I was always lukewarm to it. Early this year, sometime, I sat down and listened to just about their entire discography and really enjoyed it. But I downloaded the promo of the new record, just on a whim. Let's see what this sounds like. And immediately fell in love with it. It's real different from all the other Abigor material. But me not being a huge Abigor fan, it didn't catch me too off guard. I know someone who is a big Abigor fan who hates the new record. He was extremely let down. But I like it. It's just really cacophonous, you know, dense black metal. And it honestly, it sounds like they are playing 2 or 3 songs at one time. And it's just everything fighting each other. But it works for me. It sets a mood. Several years ago, I really liked Vorum's record, Current Mouth. In 2015, I think. That was my favorite record of the year. And it reminds me a little bit of Current Mouth. It's not quite as violent. It's not quite as, you know, stabby sounding as that. But Holland Zwang was just... It's just chaos in a way that war metal is not. But I really liked it. It has such a creepy atmosphere to it. I listened to it a bunch, and I did buy the LP, so I have the LP copy of it. But I really like that one. Next, Visigoth, Conqueror's Oath. I love Visigoth. I got into them on their first record. I downloaded the promo for the first record. It looked interesting. Here's the band. You know, they have a cool name, a cool logo, medieval artwork. I was like, this has got to be fun. And then when I found out it's a bunch of young guys from the States, I liked it even more. But when the new one came out, I mean, immediately fell in love with it. It's like, this record rules. Just really triumphant, uplifting heavy metal, kind of power metal, more true heavy metal, full of riffs, killer solos, and the singer of Visigoth is one of the best voices in that style of metal. I've watched a lot of his live video, a lot of their live videos, and he sounds phenomenal on record and off. Visigoth, just, they are doing that style of music the best it can be done, in my opinion. Speaking of that, we have Iron Flame. I talked about Iron Flame recently. I really like their new record, but it's not quite slipped into like my top whatever, because I've only listened to it 4 or 5 times all the way through. But I talked about it a couple videos ago if you want to go check it out. I was listening to it in the background. I talked about it when I bought it, but another killer traditional heavy metal record that just, I mean, can't be touched. One more, we have Toledo Steel. So Toledo Steel is a band out of England doing more kind of a speed metal sound, heavy metal, speed metal, real rooted in the 80s. Just fucking swords and leather fucking heavy metal. And it's super good. A band I know nothing about. It was a suggested video on YouTube one day, and I clicked on it and fucking fell in love with it. I haven't bought a physical copy yet, but I've listened to it a bunch over the past couple months. So check that one out. Really liked it. Toledo Steel. Void Ceremony. Void Ceremony put out an EP earlier this year that I really liked. And I've been in touch with those guys from the beginning. I did some layout work for them on their first couple of releases. And this EP, the drummer, they hired a session guy and Dylan. And Dylan is the drummer in my brutal death metal band, Unborn Salivate. So there's a little connection there. But Void Ceremony play kind of techie, evil death metal. It's technical and kind of, you know, progressive sounding, but violent. It's members of Ascended Dead and members of Golgotha and members of a couple other, you know, Southern California bands, but it sounds like those guys playing a different band. Kind of the way the Denmark, the Copenhagen guys have all these death metal bands going. They're real incestuous, but in a really, really good way. Speaking of, Hyperdontia, Nexus of Teeth. If I had to name a #1 record, it's probably tied for #1. Nexus of Teeth is the most genuine, just nasty death metal record that came out this year. There's a lot of pretenders. There's a lot of wannabes. Hyperdontia is the real fucking thing. I loved their demo when it came out. The record just kills from front to back. It is legit nasty old death metal, full of riffs, no filler. I mean, honestly, for a young band, it is up there with Dead Congregation's last full length. There is no bullshit on that record whatsoever. I really think, for me, it's going to be a classic. I'm still going to be listening to Hyperdontia years from now. The record is just fucking flawless. So, black metal bands. Sargeist. I really like the new Sargeist, Unbound. It's not my favorite, but any Sargeist record is a great Sargeist record, and I find myself listening to it more and more. And it's got everything that Sargeist has always offered. It's not as grim and, you know, morbid as Satanic Black Devotion. It's not quite as melodic as Let the Devil In. But it's a perfect mix of everything that I really think makes Sargeist great. And like I said, I keep coming back to it. It gets stuck in your ear. Shawtrog has such a unique way, such an infectious way of writing riffs, man. Guy's untouchable. Sargeist is untouchable. Archgoat. I really like the new Archgoat record. I was lukewarm to the last one. I did not like the Heavenly Vulva EP at all. I thought it was phoned in. I thought it was real mid-paced and boring. The two before that I loved. Love Or Bethlehem. But I really, really, really like the new record. I haven't listened to it a lot. But it keeps coming up in the shuffle a lot. And I definitely don't skip it every time it comes on. Really enjoying it. I really like Archgoat. For a band that plays such a caveman style of black metal, they still, like, as soon as it comes on, man, it just pumps me up. Really, really, really like the new Archgoat. The Crown. So that's something out of left field. I haven't talked about them at all on this channel. I've never been a big Crown fan. I missed the boat on the early Crown stuff, but I got into the Crown when Thomas Lindbergh joined and did Crowned in Terror in, like, what, 1999 or 2000? And I really, really liked that record, but it just kind of came and went. He left the band after that. They went back to the other singer, who I never really liked. And it was uninteresting from there on out, and I forgot about them. I never paid attention to what they did ever since. For whatever reason, something made me download the promo of Cobra Speed Venom, and I really, really like it. Now, there are 2 songs on it that just I can't stand, and if it weren't for those 2 songs, I would have ranked it a little. I would have been a little more stoked about it. It's a little bloated. It's got too many songs on it, but it is just ripping, melodic, but thrashy, deathly death metal. Definitely a return to form, to their glory days. I think it's more kind of like a comeback record, but it's really, really, really good, and I found myself listening to it a lot. Speaking of that kind of metal, Nightingales, The Last Sunsets. I talked about Nightingales a couple videos ago. This is their newest full-length. Bjorn, their longtime singer, left a few years ago, and they have been rejoined by their very first singer, who I never knew they had a very first singer. As long as I've listened to them, I always thought Bjorn Goobs was the original singer. So they've reunited with their original singer. He kind of sounds the same. He has that same kind of German accent going on. But The Last Sunsets is just another just solid, ripping, weirdly, oddly melodic death metal record, only the way that Nightingales can do it. Their previous record, Five Scars, 4, 5, 6 years ago, it was a little like almost metalcore sounding. But the new one is back to just, they're in the pocket playing melodic, you know, kind of Swedish death metal by way of Germany, by way of their weird sense of melody. But killer record. I need to pick up a copy. I've only listened to it a few times, but immediately I was in love. Profanatica. I love Profanatica. They have a new EP out, Altar of the Virgin Whore. And it is their best material since the full-length era. So, in saying that, if you don't know Profanatica, they existed for many years, from the early 90s to the end of the 90s, and never put out a full-length record. You know, most famously, they recorded a full-length. It was allegedly deleted at the studio. They broke up. Paul Ledney formed Have a Hedge, and Dethrone the Son of God was all of or most of those songs re-recorded as Have a Hedge. Not sure. They reformed around 2006 and put out their first full length. And then they've been putting out records steadily ever since. They've all been great. If you like Profanatica's very pounding, just daka 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 style of black metal, the second I hear Paul Ledney play drums, I know it's him. The second I hear a John Gelso riff, I know it's him. The second I hear Paul Ledney's voice, I know it's him. And even though John's not in the band anymore, this new EP is just the most solid Profanatica there is. It is everything about their sound that they've done right over the past 25 years and put into this one release, and it fucking crushes. So, Ghost, prequel. What the fuck has Ghost become? It's all starting to unravel. Tobias Forge outed himself, finally, but he's done these interviews in the past couple of weeks as himself, but it's still not him. He's still a character. He's dressed up. He's got the silly mustache, the silly haircut. It's still an act. But Ghost has done nothing but get better and better and better sonically and musically. Every record they put out quickly becomes my favorite Ghost record, and Prequel is no different. It's their big kind of, you know, arena rock anthemic album. But as much as they are just absolutely hated by my peers and my friends, I fucking love them. And if you get past thinking that they're trying to be a metal band and they're trying to infect the metal scene, and if you get past, oh, they're just a Merciful Fate ripoff, which could not be further from the truth, they're such a solid band. They write the catchiest songs. And if you're too, you know, proud of your metalness to listen to catchy, poppy shit like that, fine. Revenge is putting out another record next year, but Ghost fucking rules. Pungent Stench. So, Pungent Stench released a new record this year that's not new. Apparently it was recorded over 10 years ago, and then it was lost and shelved and didn't come out. Well, it came out this year, Smut Kingdom, and I really like it. I've never been a big Pungent Stench fan. I love the first record. The other stuff I've never been able to get into. Some of it, to me, is not even fucking listenable. It's so strange, kind of the sonic direction they went. But Smut Kingdom is this groovy, just weird, perverted death and roll record, and I can't stop going back to it. I really, really like it. I don't know enough about Pungent Stench to really know how Pungent Stench fans feel about it, but I enjoy it. And I'm really bummed I didn't get to see him a few weeks ago because we were supposed to play a show in New York with them. It didn't happen. But I really like Smut Kingdom. What's left? Alms. I talked about Alms a long time ago. They are a brand new band around like last year, this year, from the Baltimore area. And they played this kind of eclectic, weird, deathly rock music. I don't want to call them, you know, occult doom or stoner doom. They're not any of those things. They're just this kind of darkly, you know, morose kind of, you know, doomy rock band. And it's not something I would ever go out of my way to hear. But it fell in my lap. You know, long story short, I got asked to do art for them. I did a poster for them. I did a t-shirt for them. I ended up doing their album cover. And I said, you know, let me listen to it. And I immediately fucking fell in love. It's so catchy. It's so riffy. It's just so good all the way around. It has this really raw, natural production to it. Fantastic female vocals. Guy vocals. They split it up. Really, really, really fantastic record. And I'm still listening to it all the time. So, I think that's it. That's everything that I felt like mentioning right now. I'm sure as soon as I'm done recording this, I'm going to think of some other stuff that I've listened to a lot of. But, one of the bigger letdowns for me this year was the new Monstrosity record. When I first put it on, the first song rules. It sounds like, you know, the kind of In Dark Purity era of Monstrosity that I really like. But the record just falls off so quickly. There's like 15 songs on it, and they're so directionless. There's a song in the middle that is just, you know, endless, just directionless rhythm guitar with just mindless soloing over it. It makes no sense. A song has to go somewhere, man, and it doesn't. And I keep going back to it. I'll listen to a couple of songs, and then I'm over it. So that was my biggest letdown, and it's not even like I hate it. I wanted it to be so much better, and it's overdone. So that's it. That's the year, man. Father Befouled had a great year. You know, we played a few shows. Probably the best shows we've ever played, man. The best crowds, the best performances I think we've ever put out. We're currently writing some new stuff. We had band practice this morning. We're old, so we practice at 11 o'clock in the morning now. And Coffin Nation's moving along. I think we just played one show this year. But I am steadily recording the new album. We have a 4th album we're working on. It's a little more than halfway done, so it'll come out early next year. I'm going to record a new Father Befouled EP, so we'll have that and the new In Coffin Nation full length ready for our tour of Europe next year. We're going to go on a short tour of Europe, and then we'll see what the future holds after that. In the past week or so, I have started a new band. It'll strictly be kind of a recording, demo type thing, some long distance stuff with some buddies over the internet, and it's going to be just old school, kind of old Cannibal Corpse, old Hypocrisy, old Monstrosity sounding death metal, kind of, you know, Tampa meets Sweden, old school nasty death metal. We've already got a demo recorded. Singer's finishing up the vocals on it this week. I'm just playing guitar. So that'll be out really soon, and as soon as it's up, I'm going to tell you guys about it and link you to it. So I hope you like it. But that's it. Let's talk about all these albums. Let's talk about stuff that you think I missed. Let's talk about stuff that you think I should have, you thought maybe I would talk about. And let's talk about these albums, see if you like them too. So keep commenting, keep liking, subscribe, put the bell on. I'll talk to you guys later.